F1H2O World Championship launched its 34th season with the opening round at the 16th Grand Prix of Portugal in Portimão. Situated in the Algarve region, Portimão is one of the most beautiful corners of southern Portugal, a bustling tourism haven with year-round sun, sea, and surf. A historic fishing town, Portimão lives and breathes at one with the ocean. It's located on a truly breathtaking coastline, full of towering cliffs and rocky shores. Its sandy beaches stretch out for as far as the eye can see, attracting people far and wide year-round. Portimão is more than just beaches. It has some of the best golf links in the country, along with fantastic shopping and fresh and delectable cuisine with seafood literally scooped fresh out of the sea and onto the plate. The sardine dishes of this region are famous, and there's a whole festival dedicated to them, filling the town's restaurants with visitors from all over the country and Europe annually. The historic city center is unique, crowned with a cathedral, and hosts concerts and festivals year-round. Little wonder that Portimão hosts its 15th UIM F1H2O World Championship Grand Prix, making it one of the favorite stops for drivers, teams, and F1H2O fans worldwide. Those who are brave enough have the chance to experience the thrill of being in an F1H2O boat firsthand with a ride in the F1H2O two-seater. Portimão hosts 19 drivers from 11 countries and 9 teams competing in the Grand Prix of Portugal in a talent-packed field that included 3 world champions and 9 Grand Prix winners. Defending World Team Champions CTIC F1 Shenzhen China team is led by 3-time defending World Champion Frenchman Philippe Chiappe, who's also the defending Grand Prix of Portugal champion, having won here last year. He's out to defend his title and get his 2017 campaign off to a winning start in his quest to become only the second driver after Guido Capellini to win 4 consecutive world titles.
We have many sessions to training, and I think I know very well my boat, and we have special props for the start. And I have a little secret for that, and it's good.
Chiappe's new teammate is son-in-law and World Endurance Championship partner Peter Morin, an experienced racer who will be competing in F1H2O for the first time. The locals will be cheering one of their own in Portimão as 17-year Tour veteran F1H2O racer Duarte Benavente flies the Portuguese flag for F1 Atlantic Team. He's looking for the edge and another podium with local support behind him in home waters. Benavente is joined by Australian Grant Trask, who has already proven he can race with the best of them in the 2 Grand Prix he entered last year. One of Dubai's most famous international sporting brand names, Victory Team, has brought in former Abu Dhabi and Emirates team manager Scott Gilman to lead the Dubai outfit, which features last year's world runner-up Sean Torrente, a tower of consistency who finished in the top 4 in all 7 races in 2016.
And I was really proud of my drive last year. I was proud of the consistency that I brought to my driving. I felt it was the best I've driven ever in my career, where I chose and picked and chose when I wanted to really take a chance and not taking that chance all the time. And I was proud that the worst finish we had all year was a 4th. We were pretty much on the podium just about every race, and we got a win. So going into this year, I think we can take the final step. I think we're really close.
He's joined by another former Emirates team transfer, Ahmed Al-Hamali, who won a memorable 7th Grand Prix title in Liuzhou last year. He's sure to be a valuable addition to the Victory Team machine. Always one of the top teams on the tour and a bitter rival of the Dubai-based Victory outfit is Team Abu Dhabi, led by legendary 10-time world champion Guido Capellini. Alex Corella of Italy is a 3-time consecutive world champion and always a world title contender. His teammate Thani Al-Khamzi is a legendary veteran and former world number 2, while their third driver Rashid Al-Khamzi is a very talented F4 graduate with multiple F4 and Nations Cup wins to his name. Mad Croc Baba Racing Team is led by 2-time world champion Sami Celio, who had his best year on the tour last year since clinching his second world title in 2010. He'll be joined once again by his fellow Finnish driver, the ever-improving Philip Roms, who finished 6th last year. Emirates Team, formerly Team EMIC, boasts Norwegian sensation and the only woman driver on the tour, Marit Stromoy of Norway, who's a former pole position winner in Portimao. She's joined by German former F4 driver Mike Shimura, who's on his second year on the tour and looking to build on the impressive 2016. Team Sweden had one of its best seasons ever in 2016, spearheaded by one of the most exciting and aggressive drivers on the tour, Jonas Andersson, who got his first Grand Prix win since 2008 in Abu Dhabi last year.
For sure we're going to do our best, like always, and the boat is coming better and better all the races we go, and it's a very old boat, but all new boats we build it's not the same good like this one, so we continue with this, and we have the same engines like end of last year and working on some other things, so hopefully it's going to be perfect.
Joined by Eric Stark, who returns to the team he started his F1H2O career in 2012. Blaze Performance Team is led by one of the most successful drivers on the tour, veteran Italian ace Francesco Cantando, a man who boasts 12 career Grand Prix wins. He's joined by teammate Bartek Marszalek of Poland, who's improving year after year with strong qualifying and race performances. Also back is Maverick F1 Team, featuring 2 Frenchmen, Cedric Deguin, who had a 4th place result at Evian in 2016, and newcomer Amaury Jossom, who will be racing in F1H2O for the first time. The Grand Prix of Portugal will be raced on the Arad River, a 7-pin circuit with 1 right-hander, tricky river currents and tides to deal with, and 3 straightaways over 400 meters in length. The BRM qualifying race was postponed till the final race day. 2 straight days of gale force winds of up to 70 kilometers per hour meant conditions were too dangerous for practice or racing, and even just getting boats in the water to break engines proved to be challenging. Finally, the strong winds gave way to perfect conditions on the Arad River as the BRM qualifying was ready to get underway. It would be just the one 90-minute qualifying session, but for many, this was their first time on the water or even behind the wheel of their new boats. And with no time for practicing or testing, things were especially challenging and unpredictable for teams.
We have all race, qualifying, everything today. We can push very hard today.
It's going to be weird, man. We can make changes, we can change power heads if we need to, and it's a long time. It's an hour and a half, one session, so I really don't know how it's going to go. It's going to be hard not to run a bunch of laps to maintain patience and wait for good water.
Victory Team took control early on with Sean Torrente leading the session and his teammate Al Hamili in second. With all 19 boats out on the water at the same time, the challenge would be to read the circuit conditions well and find the opportunities and the clean water in which to get a fast lap time in. Communication between the drivers and their teams would be critical, and the radio men serve as an extra set of eyes on the water.
I can't get that right down there. I pinch it off hard.
I'm having a hard time when you get out to the right. I'm trying to, get the gap between you and whoever. So when I say after we get the right hander, go, 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 you gotta go because if you...
Team Abu Dhabi was having a tough time of it. Their 3 boats all on the dry dock with engine issues.
In one lap we had problem with the engine, now we try to fix it. If not, we will have to change and start in that position.
With engine issues resolved, Alex Corella finally dialed in a setup and got out on the water to post a respectable 5th place. but that was cancelled out after qualifying as he had to change engines, bumping him to the back of the starting grid. Francesco Cantando posts a great lap time out there, moving him up into second place behind Torrente. But just one lap after, Cantando crashes out. The Italian was unhurt, and with no spare boat, that would spell the end of his session, as they would try to get the boat ready for the race with the few hours available. Defending World and Portimao Grand Prix champion Philipp Schiapp set a 43.26 lap time. It wasn't enough to challenge Torrente, but it placed him in the top 4. Then Ahmed Al-Hamali went out and set a blistering lap time of 43.13, moving back up into second behind Torrente. But he crashed out just after. Bitter disappointment for the Emirati and for victory. It was a huge crash, and he looked doubtful for a race start.
What's happened out of control, that's normal for the qualifying people who want to win the qualifying.
Returning to Team Sweden, Eric Stark matched Al-Hamali's time literally, 43.13, placing him right up in third. But his teammate Jonas Andersson, coming off one of the best seasons in years, was struggling with technical issues. But there was still time to make it.
I only have 25 minutes left and I try to do better time. I think we have 5 now and it's not good enough.
Former pole position winner in Portimao, Marit Stromoy, took advantage of the Al-Hamali yellow flag to get more fuel, but later couldn't manage to get past 10th position. Locals got to cheer on their sole Portuguese representative as Duarte Benavente got a 43.49 lap time to move into 6th spot. As the minutes ticked away, all the top drivers were out there throwing everything they had to try and clinch pole position from Torrente's hands. But it was all to no avail. Nobody could beat Torrente's time of 42.80. Sean Torrente wins pole with Al-Hamali second, Stark third, followed by Corella, Schiapp, and Benavente in 6th.
That was the longest hour and a half of my life, man. But I'm so proud of the team, proud of the guys. Just proud to be here, and we're just gonna try and win from the pole now, which is easier than the way I normally win. So it was so hard to not make a lap at the end. The boat is so fast, I want to make a lap, but it just wasn't worth the risk.
The F1H2O family received the kind of gala dinner welcome that has become a tradition in Portimao, where the 15th F1H2O Grand Prix was celebrated in style once again, as locals, teams, drivers, crews, and their families got to enjoy and unwind together. Completed final preparations for the race as the 16th Grand Prix of Portugal got underway. Defending champion Philipp Schiapp would start third on the grid.
It's a good session for us, but we are a little scared with the fuel, and we make the safe regulation on the engine, and it's not my engine like I use usually, and it's difficult to make a good time with this setup, but my boat is perfect on this condition, and I think I can make a good start and make a good result.
Alex Corella would be starting in 15th position after his engine change. He'll have a hard race ahead of him.
Bad morning, now we start last. We see. It will be a strong race for me, but 50 laps. Race is long, so for sure I will try my best to arrive in the top spot quickly, but I will do my best for sure.
Eric Stark starts in second position behind Torrente.
Yeah, the plan is to take him, of course. Like, we have always a battle, but, you know, we're good friends, so we're not going to do anything funny. So, you know, it's a long season. I really need the points, so top 3 is the goal. So.
Cantando and his Blaze team finish working on the boat just in the nick of time.
The wind is quite big factor here. Like today we saw Ahmed flying away, so suddenly the wind picking up again, and let's see. Let's hope it's calm for the race and we have safe race for everybody.
Torrente's got the best seat in the house in pole. Benavente has Portuguese hopes riding on him in 4th spot. Cantando just next to him in 5th. Can the Italian build on it? Anderson in 6th. Behind Celio is Stromoy, Marszalek and Shimura. De Guin 11th. Philip Roms 12th. The 2 newcomer Frenchmen, Morin and Jassam in 13th and 14th. The final seconds before the race. There they go, the first race of the 2017 season is on. Torrente has a great start, leaping out in front, leading the field to the commitment buoy. The number 2 boat, Peter Moran, gets passed by Roms on his left and Alex Corella on his right as he's left in their spray. Torrente dominates to the first buoy. Behind him, Philip Schiap and Eric Stark come around neck and neck. Further back, Anderson caught in Duarte Benavente's spray. Torrente opens his lead as Schiap and Stark lock horns for second position down that 400-meter straightaway to turn buoy number 3. Behind them, Anderson chasing Benavente for 4th spot. Both drivers looking to take advantage of their starting grid positions to try and start the new season off with a podium. Philip Schiap has overhauled Eric Stark. The Frenchman is in 2nd, giving chase to Torrente. Stark 3rd. Marit Stromoy is putting the pedal to the metal as she passes the Frenchman from Maverick F1 team to take 8th spot. Coming up from 15th position and making his way steadily up the field is Alex Corella, who passes German Emirates team driver Mike Shimura to move into 10th position. 2 newcomers, Peter Morin from CTIC China and Grant Trask of F1 Atlantic, locking horns, but Grant Trask gets the better of Morin as the Australian moves up a spot. Out in the lead with a comfortable gap over Schiap is race leader Sean Torrente. Schiap himself opening a comfortable lead as well over 3rd placed Eric Stark, with Benavente in 4th, Anderson just behind him in 5th, and Sami Celio looking to move up into the top 5 in 6th. Chased by Bartek Marszalek with Stromoy in 8th and Corella inside the top 10, looking to keep moving up through the field. Shame for Francesco Cantando of Blaze Performance Team. He started in 5th but had to retire in the first lap. Meanwhile, Duarte Benavente in 4th, caught between 2 Team Sweden boats with Stark up ahead in 3rd and Anderson trying to close in behind in 5th. Behind Anderson, Sami Celio inching ever closer as the Finn sets his sights on the Swede. Looking comfortable in the lead, Sean Torrente lapping backmarker Amaury Jassam from Maverick F1, and starting the year off with a win would be just the boost Torrente needs in his bid for a first ever world title. But Torrente first needs to make sure he keeps Schiap off his back. Further back, Alex Corella pushing hard to catch Marit Stromoy. He almost pushes a little too hard, but he just manages to keep his boat on the water. Jonas Anderson is unlucky. His race is over in lap 5 as his boat comes to a halt. Marit Stromoy also retires. Her race only lasts 7 laps.
Looks like we seized the engine, just run out of power, and I just managed to come in before it stopped completely, but looks, for me, it's seized.
In lap 8, Torrente maintains a 5-second lead over Schiap, but Torrente's in trouble. Sean Torrente out with engine problems in lap 9, and Schiap storms into the lead. Stark in 2nd, Celio now in 3rd. Bitter disappointment for Torrente and victory.
Yeah, I was just setting a pace. It was fine. Wasn't really even pushing, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Wasn't our day. Don't know. Engine, but we don't know what.
The high hopes for victory after Torrente and Al Hamili got that qualifying 1-2 have come to naught. Meanwhile, Alex Corella continues his quest to move up the field, setting his sights on Philip Roms in 8th, with Cedric De Guin up in 7th and Bartek Marszalek in 5th. Corella tries to find some clean water on the outside, with Philip Roms hugging tight on the inside as the Italian puts the pressure on the young Finn. Lap 15, and what a great race this is turning out to be for Duarte Benavente in fourth in front of the Portuguese fans. Further back, the duel between Carella and Roms continues for 7th place. Three-time consecutive world champion Alex Carella is ducking and weaving, looking for any opportunity he can find to pass Philip Roms, but the Mad Croc Baba driver is solid and cool under the Team Abu Dhabi onslaught. In the lead, Philippe Chiappe looking very comfortable with a good gap over Eric Stark, the Frenchman on course for a defense of his Portuguese GP title. Sami Celio is now being chased by number 23 Bartek Marszalek, who overhauled Duarte Benavente to move up into fourth and has set his sights on the Finn. The Polish ace is less than 2 seconds away in fourth and is putting in some excellent top speeds out there as the Blaze Performance team driver tries to get a first ever podium. In the lead, it's all about Chiappe, who looks virtually unassailable as Stark trails by 2.81 seconds in the number 15 boat with 22 laps down and another 28 to go. Philip Roms having problems as he tries to get some air into the cockpit before continuing on his way. But a loose camera hits his fuel kill switch and Philip Roms' race comes to an end a little later. Disappointment for the young Finn. Officials give a black flag to number 51, Mike Shimura, for a faulty radio, but he keeps racing unaware of what's happening, having lost radio communication. With just 18 laps left in the race, no change in the top 6, Chiappe, Stark, Celio, the top 3, then Marszalek, Benavente, and Carella closing in on the top 5. A feisty battle is unfolding for 4th place between Bartek Marszalek and Duarte Benavente, the Portuguese driver trying desperately to claw his way back up into 4th, but the Polish Blaze Performance ace is not budging. Lap 43, the final few laps in the race, Chiappe lapping his teammate Peter Morin, and he can surely smell the victory, but Eric Stark is not letting up, closing the gap with the Frenchman to 1.83 seconds and going all out in these last few laps to try and get a first ever F1H2O win. Marszalek under pressure from Benavente, and the Polish rider takes out a buoy. That will be penalized. Bad blow for Marszalek, who would be given a 1-lap penalty. The field was thinning out and there were just 2 laps left in it as Eric Stark kept up his pursuit of Chiappe right till the end. But it was heartbreak for Stark with just 2 laps left and engine failure robbing him of at least a runner-up finish for Team Sweden. Philippe Chiappe defends his title and wins a 2nd Portuguese Grand Prix in a row. Celio finishes runner-up after the Stark exit as a dejected Eric Stark watches all the boats race by to the finish line. And to the delight of the home crowd, 3rd place goes to Duarte Benavente. The Portuguese driver caps a brilliant and tenacious race off with a well-earned podium. Chiappe is the Grand Prix champion, Benavente on the podium, Carella from 15th to 4th, a best ever race result for Marszalek, 6th place for De Guin, Grant Trask in 7th, Stark 8th, Morin with 2 points in his first race in F1H2O.
Hey, yeah, what I can say, I need to be proud of my team, all the problems all these guys. We are a small team, not like the others, but the spirit is so good. We had difficulties, they solved all this morning, we worked together and we fixed all the problems and now we are here.
In the team standings, CTIC F1 Shenzhen China team on top, F1 Atlantic in 2nd after 2 great results from Benavente and Trask, Mad Croc Baba 3rd.
Especially I'm really happy for my team, for my sponsors, you know. They work hard, very hard. We had 2 months non-stop preparing this race, and we were fast all the Sunday because we went in the water only today, but we were fast all the event, and to be able to finish in the podium after a good race is very good for me. But of course I want them to be happy because this result is for them.
Chiappe on top of the standings after round 1 with Celio and Benavente in 2nd and 3rd.
It's good for the championship, of course, but It's very good for my team because he worked very hard in 2 months, and my team is very strong, and I'm very happy for each mechanic because it's a lot of work on the boat. I have a very good team.
That brings to a close the first round of the 2017 UIM F1H2O World Championship. See you in Evian, France for round 2.